Alright, quick video showing installation of this Midea 12,000 BTU window air conditioner, and this is a U-shaped design, and we picked this up at Costco. Okay, so I'm going to be working off of the quick start guide, or quick guide. So the first thing I always want to do is make sure I have all of my items that I'm supposed to come with. So I've got everything laid out according to what I should have, and I have everything, so that's good. The second thing I'll always recommend is go ahead and plug in your window unit right now and start it up and make sure it blows cold air. So you don't want to install all this and realize that your window unit doesn't work. So go ahead and do that first, make sure it's blowing cold air. And after we do that, we're going to jump into our installation. In my case, there's two different types of installations, a lip window or a flat window. My window has a lip, so I'll be following installation for lip window. But again, first thing first, make sure you have all the equipment, make sure it works, and then we'll get started with step number one. Okay, so mine blows cold, no weird noises. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm going to knock out steps 1 through 5 pretty quick here. I guess the important things, I measured my window. Mine's 31 inches. So I'll be using the long extension bracket, not the short one, on the right side. So I'm going to slide that into this bracket, put it in my window. And the important thing here is that these extending arms are on the inside of the lip. So you want to make sure it's on the inside of the lip, these extending arms. And then I'll make sure they slide out and touch the wall. And I guess while I'm there, I'll go ahead and kick these legs out that sit on the exterior wall on the outside. So I'm going to do all that and kind of review it with you as I do it. Okay, here's my window. I'm going to install the long arm with the bracket facing upwards on the right side. You have to pull this little pin out towards you. It's just spring loaded, so you pull it and that slides in. Okay. So I'm going to center this here, pull the left pin, slide the left one out a little bit so that I can fit the right one in. They were bumping into each other. Okay. Get it about center. Pull both of those out and then undo the tape on these arms back here. About where those need to be. And once you undo the tape, these legs should kick out. And you want this to sit on the outside wall with these feet touching the wall on the outside. You can adjust it by pushing in this button. It's got buttons on either side here, so squeeze it, and you can slide this forward and back. Of course, I'm doing this in the rain. Do that. Slide these forward. Okay. And it says that you want to make sure that this is level or maybe leaning back just a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that it's either level and leaning back a little bit. And if not, I'll adjust the legs on the outside some. But if it is good, then I'll leave it like that and go to the next step. Okay, so I adjusted mine so it's leaning back just a little bit. And I made sure my window was centered. I moved it a little bit. I counted 11 dimples on either side. So I just count these, make sure they're even. And so that is centered. I've got my legs where they need to be. And that's basically it. I mean, after that, okay, first I need to move a little arm. So next what I'm going to do is here step 1 so we finished setting up the window, Now we move to step 2, installing the air conditioner. So first we need to remove these little, I don't know what they are, anti-tip brackets from the AC unit before we can drop it in. So we'll do that next. Okay, so I've got a screwdriver, and so we're supposed to flip these out and remove this screw. Call these anti-tip brackets. I don't really know why yet, but so take out these screws on both sides and keep the screw. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll see what the next step is after that. Next, so remove this tape. This blue tape inside of here. Okay. And then pull these brackets out about 1 inch, it said. I guess that means like that. Make sure you pull the tape fully out, and these are supposed to pull out about 1 inch on either side before we install it. Okay, so next we're going to put the unit on the bracket we installed in the window, and it looks like you want to make sure it's centered first of all, and then you just push it backwards until I think there's little tabs underneath the air conditioner, and it's supposed to go into some slots. I think in these 2 slots, it's supposed to like grab onto here as you push it back. We'll put it down here first and then push it back until I feel it grab onto these 2 slots. Okay, just kidding. So what that's talking about is there's these 2 grooves. Right here is one, here's the other, in the bottom of the window unit. And there's 2 tabs on the bracket. One's here, one's over there. So that's what it was talking about. So this needs to scoot over. There you go, hooking like that. Okay, so now I'm in. You can see those tabs sticking out through that bracket. So I don't know what I was talking about earlier, but that's what it should look like. So you're looking for those 2 tabs underneath to come through these holes. So now I'm hooked in. And next I'm going to put in my foam insulation on both sides. So again, for my lip window, I'm just using the foam block. I'm not using the extension on the bottom. So I'll go ahead and do my foam block, add a little piece of insulation on the bottom, and I'm going to drop it in on either side of the window so it slides into these little clips on the side. Right here, you can slide into there on both sides. Okay, so a couple things there. So measure and cut your foam first. If you saw, it stuck it to the bottom, and then I realized it was too wide, so I had to cut it afterwards. Anyways, you want to measure how wide that is. Cut your foam. Add some of this sticky tape stuff to the bottom of it, and drop it in there. Another thing I realized is that my window unit was too far back, so it doesn't have to be pushed all the way back to where those tabs are, you know, all the way into the slots. So I actually had to pull my window unit forward a little bit so it's lined up with the window and the channel. So I pulled it forward a couple of inches, and these ears are still engaged in the tabs here, but it's just not sitting all the way backwards. So I think that's fine. So I needed to do that for it to fit correctly. So I'm going to do the same thing, this block, for the other side now. Last thing is to close your window. Oops. Again, I'm going to scooch mine forward just a little bit. There you go. Make sure that window drops there. Okay. Okay. I had to kind of pull my little block up on that side so it's touching, so you can kind of grab and pull it up. If those little blocks are pushed all the way down, they might not be covering the gap, so kind of pull them up a little bit. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah, and then you're supposed to put this in the to block the window here. So put that to length to insulate here. This just stuffs in there. Okay, now again, you should have already checked to make sure your AC worked, but that should be it. Plug mine in, turn it up. You can read the owner's manual to learn more about, you know, using the Wi-Fi and all that stuff. Pull this tape off, check the filter and everything, but we already have a Midea window unit and really like it. It's not a U-shaped one, but we've been really happy with our other one, so we're happy to get another one. I guess one last thing I'll leave you with, as far as security goes, one thing I like to do so that this window can't be opened, and I've done this before, is you can cut a 2x4 to length, and I'll have to cut a new one for this one because this one's too short. But basically, you cut a piece of wood that's the length from the top of this sill, and it butts up against the top there, like that. And so, you know, make it long enough to where it hits there too. And that'll make it to where nobody can open that window if you're worried about security. Or just use a little clip that it came with. You can screw this into the wall also, like that. Mine never fits, so I never use those, but if yours fits, you can just screw this into the wall. But anyways, hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.